following opinions are solely those of BoatTest.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTest.com, and today we're going to conduct a sea trial and features inspection of a well-laid-out and versatile cruiser from Riviera, the 57 EB. Riviera seemed to do a good job of adding curves and detail work to the design so that she doesn't look as high as previous models. In fact, to our eye, she has the graceful combination of the Sport Yacht series with the comfort of the enclosed flybridge models. Now, since the 57 EB stands for enclosed bridge, we'll start our features inspection right there. The flying bridge is accessed from stairs to the starboard side of the aft galley, and they're beautifully fabricated with mahogany treads on a solid wood support. There's astounding visibility from this climate-controlled area. We can open up the side windows, the aft door, window, and an overhead sunroof to let the outside in if desired. And pull-down screens add privacy when needed. All the seating lines to port, starting with an L-shaped sofa and pedestal table aft. Storage is underneath and includes rod storage. Just ahead is a recess for holding items, and drink holders are just in front. Below is a refrigerator. Further ahead is a bench seat next to the helm station, so guests can remain in close proximity to the captain, who will in most cases be the host. These seats include storage drawers underneath. Back aft and across the starboard is a sink and trash receptacle with a TV just above. Beneath is stemware and bottle storage. Decking is a hard-wearing timber finish. The helm is center-mounted, putting it right in the sweet spot of handling and visibility. Triple windows have narrow mullions. Riviera took away our chance to pick on the location of the compass by putting it right in line with the helm seat to port. Below is Volvo Penta's glass dash with three 19-inch multifunction displays at the upper panel. A smaller screen is in front of the observer for additional selectable information. Heat and air conditioning vents are to both sides for when all the doors and windows are closed. To the left is the Seakeeper gyro pad. Below is the ignition panel, the IPS joystick, the spotlight remote panel, and the VHF. In the center is a sub-panel with a stereo, windlass control, CZone touchscreen switch panel which controls all the ship's electrical and tank monitoring, and a temperature control. And Riviera is one of the few companies that we know of that adds the climate control to the helm station instead of a remote location out of reach. Behind are the engine controls with their added features, electrical switches, and the remote for the main displays. Over to the right, in front of the observer, is a recessed area for putting the phones or portable equipment, and it includes the USB and accessory plugs. The pedestal seats are Pomponette Platinum Series, fully adjustable, including recline and height. The aft deck is accessed from a sliding glass door and includes an extended overhead with sunroof and a 2-across bench seat with storage underneath. The model we tested was laid out for fishing, and in true sportfish style, an operating station is to starboard, providing a view of the working area of the cockpit, perfect for backing down on a fish. It includes a set of Volvo Penta-styled engine controls, the stainless wheel that could use a steering knob, the EVC displays for each engine are to starboard, and the joystick to the right of that. An open panel can house a pair of multifunction displays. 6 rod holders are fixed to the aft rail, and clear curtains surround the deck for added comfort without hampering visibility. Now let's move down below and start with the exterior. The teak deck cockpit has plenty of room for either entertaining or offshore fishing. Rod holders are in the cap rails. Ahead and to port, there's L-shaped seating wrapping around a solid wood pedestal table with stainless steel beverage holders in the center. There's underseat storage. At the forward bulkhead are hatches leading to the emergency pump and engine shutoff controls and the main battery and circuit breaker panel. Overhead, there's the extended bridge deck and an additional canvas awning with stainless steel frame and clear side curtains. Overhead lighting and spreader lights are fitted. To starboard, there's a refreshment center with an electric griddle, a grill, a sink and trash receptacle are under a removable cover. Below are a refrigerator and ice maker. At the stern, there's a transom door, bench seating with storage underneath, and a built-in cooler that can be rigged as a bait well. It has a glass front and is self-draining. Plumbing and an aerator is all it takes for the conversion. To both bulwarks, there's additional storage. There's large lazarette storage in the center that also houses the Seakeeper gyro, while to port is a large fish box. And in the aft quarters, there's heavy-duty chafing gear integrated into the cap rails with vertically mounted cleats below. At deck level are the cockpit drains channeling any shipped water right back overboard. The engine room is accessed from a hatch in the cockpit. Steps lead between the engines, and there's plenty of room for servicing the twin 900 horsepower IPS 1200 Volvo Penta engines. At the aft bulkhead are the battery boxes and generator. Fuel tanks are to the sides and are fitted with the genset water separators and sight tubes. Main fuel filters and sea strainers are ahead. I'm happy to see all through hulls are bonded for active corrosion protection. The pods are connected to the engines via jack shafts and visible through an aft hatch in the cockpit deck. This means the propulsion is well aft of the engines, which helps maintain the weight and balance of the 54 EB, particularly during acceleration where we have minimal bow rise. Shore power connectivity is via a cord rail at the riser to the stairs to both side decks, and we could think of a less intrusive location for this, but probably not as easily accessible. The side decks are accessed from these stairs, which are to port and starboard, and the 16-inch wide decks, 29-inch high rails make for a safe transition even when underway. As we reach the working end of the bow, the rail height increases to 30 inches, and fender storage is integrated into the rails. At the trunk cabin, there is a deck crane designed to launch a tender weighing up to 770 pounds, and the decking is appropriately reinforced. At the foredeck, a portside hatch conceals storage and the freshwater washdown. To starboard is road access. Between is a molded recess housing the vertically mounted windlass leading to the pulpit-mounted anchor roller. Riviera went with a polished stainless steel anchor leading to an all-chain rode. A brake takes the load off the windlass when the anchor is deployed. Safety catch prevents accidental deployment. 12-inch cleats and chafing gear are to both sides. Now let's head inside. Just to port, there's a U-shaped galley with lots of counter space. We'd like to see raised edges, but notice how Riviera created a drying area that channels water back into the single basin stainless steel sink. A trash receptacle is right alongside. Opposite is an induction cooktop with a single and long burner. Overhead is storage with room for a soffit above thanks to the 7-foot ceilings. Below are 2 refrigerated drawers, additional storage, a Miele oven, more storage, and a dishwasher drawer. Opposite are 4 more refrigerated or freezer drawers specified by the customer, more storage, buffet space, bottle storage, and still more storage. Just aft, there's a glass partition to the cockpit that can be opened up to blend the inside and outside and make serving the cockpit seating even easier. Also, behind the stairs is the CZone touchpad that controls all the yacht's electrical switches, tank levels, and monitors all the systems. Of course, we still have manual switches for quick access. Above is glassware storage. Notice how as we move through to the salon, there are elongated grab rails overhead, adding safety when underway. As we step up, the ceiling height drops to 6 feet 5 inches. A C-shaped sofa wraps around a solid wood table on a high-low pedestal. It flips to expand, and when closed, there are grab handles to both sides. Below the sofa are storage drawers. Across is L-shaped seating. Large windows provide plenty of light and ample visibility, particularly when underway where we have a clear sight line to the horizon, even from the seated positions. Side windows are opening and shades pull down from the valances. Forward are large windshields with narrow mullions, and there's the requisite flat-screen TV on an electric lift. Decking is low-maintenance Amtico. Now let's head below and take a look at the accommodations. Here the wood takes on a satin finish. The master is just aft. This stateroom is full beam with hull side windows providing the natural light. Ceiling height is 6 feet 4 inches. There's a centerline mounted berth measuring 6 feet 7 inches by 6 foot 1 inch. The headboard is individual pieces of matched grain wood with indirect lighting, and here's an interesting storage solution. To starboard, there's storage and a hanging locker. Opposite is more storage below and above. A settee providing good views out the hull side window. A shade pulls down when it's time to turn in. The door leads to the master head. It's fully fiberglass lined, has solid surface counters with a vessel sink and corner-mounted porcelain toilet. An opening port light provides ventilation along with a vent fan. A walk-in shower is just opposite. The door to starboard leads to a walk-in closet. As we step out, there's a washer to one side and a dryer to the other. Straight ahead is the VIP at the bow, and notice how the door opens into a recess in the bulkhead for a flush fit. Inside, headroom is 6 feet 4 inches. The island berth measures 6'9" by 5 feet 8 inches. There are hull side windows with storage above to both sides of the berth. The same decorative headboard, minus the storage, is repeated here. There's storage below, and at the aft bulkhead there's a hanging locker, TV, and another hanging locker. There's also a private entrance to the ensuite head. The guest stateroom features over-under berths. As for being on the water, the 57 EB had a scheduled haul out for bottom cleaning, but the yard was not able to get to her by our test day, so we couldn't run numbers. But the test team at Riviera has, and they report that with the 900 horsepower Volvo Penta IPS 1200 engine spooled up to 2300 RPM, she topped out at 35.5 knots. Best cruise was reached at 2100 RPM and 31.1 knots. At that speed, the 74-gallon per hour fuel burn translated into 0.4 nautical miles per gallon and a range of 400.1 nautical miles, all while still holding back a 10% reserve of the boat's 1,057-gallon total fuel capacity. Again, we could not test her, so we can't validate these numbers. As usual, we had calm weather during our tests, so we can't comment on the offshore capabilities that Riviera is so well known for, but we did notice a few things. She has a roughly 5-degree roll into the turns, which is surprising because we'd expect more with the higher center of gravity, but this remains comfortable throughout. She has the slow turning consistent with an IPS-powered boat, but seems to be more responsive when entering those turns. When driving through the wakes of our camera boat, we found she slices right through without stuffing the bow or putting up a wall of water. In fact, she handles waves at least of this size better than expected. Back at the marina, the joystick functionality makes for a non-event when docking. There's an aft station in the bridge providing a full view of the stern and starboard side, and it's nice having such a wide view from this elevated vantage point. Here in the cockpit, the stick provides the view of the stern and port side, plus it allows for handling the lines when short-handed. Either way, just small pulses of the stick have her moving in the desired direction, and then we just guide that momentum as we move along. And she's quite responsive and, from what I could tell, dialed in perfectly to this model. Then it's just a matter of easing her in, letting the crew at the bow grab those lines, and then continuing in for the rest of the tie-up. Well, in our opinion, the Riviera 57 EB represents a nice combination of offshore fishing machine, capable entertainment platform, functional cruising yacht, and a lot of eye candy, all rolled into one well-handling yacht that an owner-operator will feel right at home on. And that's our full look. For BoatTest.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.